Katie and Kelly.
We're going to be bringing out one of our ambassadors for about 10 to 15 minutes for you all to get to meet and learn a little bit about. And he is a very handsome guy, and it looks like he is ready to go. So here he comes.
That was my guess.
His name is Mani, and he is pretty cute, I would have to say, but I'm also a little partial to him. I kind of like him a little bit. Now, who knows what Mani is? Anybody other than you? You don't get to guess.
Handsome. Handsome.
What? Ooh, a lesser anteater? What are those? What are lesser anteaters called? Because you are right, it is a lesser anteater. Ooh, we got somebody over here who knows it. Tamandua or Tamandua. I would have taken Tamandua, which is spelled the same as Tamandua. It just depends on how you want to pronounce it. All right, so the lesser anteater or Tamandua, and called the lesser anteater just because he's smaller than the giant anteater, not because we actually think less of him, right? So the giant anteater is a ground-dwelling type of animal with really big claws and long fur, and they're gray and black, right? You guys might have seen them on the other side of the zoo. The lesser anteater, Tamandua, like this guy, is an arboreal species. So he's going to spend most of his time up in the trees. He's very well adapted for living in the trees. He's got several adaptations that help him to survive up in those trees. So one of them you might notice is that big long tail of his. He has a prehensile tail. Do you guys know what it means to have a prehensile body part? Anybody? What if I told you you had prehensile body parts? Well, it means to grab, to grasp. That's what it means. So his tail can wrap around a branch, and he can use it just like an extra hand. Now think of this. So how many of you out there like playing on the playground? Anybody here like playing on a playground? Okay, quite a few of you. Could you guys imagine if you had an extra hand, how good you would be at swinging on the monkey bars? You would be so good at it. You'd be like the best in the school. So that tail helps him to get around throughout the tree. He's not using it right now. That tail helps him to get around in the trees and get to resources that he is looking for. So he can get to different bugs and things, because being a lesser anteater or Tamandua, he eats bugs.
Oh, scary.
Now, Miss Kelly here is not feeding him ants, because do you guys know what happens if we put ants in a dish? They go everywhere, and Kelly does not want to be covered with ants. Mani can be covered with ants. He has about an 11 to 12 inch long tongue that he can lick the ants right off of him if it was bothering him. But we are feeding him different types of worm and an insectivore pellet. There he goes. Oh, he's doing so good. And you get a chance to see that tongue as well. There it goes.
So scary.
He also has some very large claws. Can you guys see those nails while he's hanging there? What are you doing, Money?
He's just hanging on
down,
with his
tail. Or are you going to go back up? Which way are you going to go, buddy? What are you going to do? And watch, he can actually climb back up. This is the amazing part. This is where I'm like, how much ab strength does it take to pull yourself back up out of a hang like that? I don't think I could do it, but he's pretty good at it. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go. All right, now back to talking about those nails or those claws of his. They're pretty big, right? That is some serious strength. Those claws in his arms are actually so strong that it said that a Tamandua could rip the concrete off the ground if they wanted to. Now, in South America, the the termite mounds look kind of like this, right? They're a little bit different. I'm not going to take your bugs. Don't worry about it. So they kind of look like this. They're really, really hard. And so he's going to use those nails and all that strength to rip them apart to get to the termites and to the larvae and things like that that are in there. So that's why he's got those really strong nails. He can pinch with them to defend himself if he needs to, but he actually has another way to defend himself. These guys have another nickname. They're sometimes called the little stinkers of the rainforest. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay.
Oh, scary.
Okay.
Scary.
So we're gonna do that one more time, but I need you guys to react appropriately when he does that. That is actually a threat. When Tamanduas do that, he's standing up and he's showing you his claws. So everybody be afraid. Act scared. So scary. Oh my gosh, don't threaten me like that when you're so cute. Okay, just kidding. Sorry, Money. You're so scary. All right, so what is after that is the scary part. So, right, little stinkers, right? So think about, what do skunks do? they spray, right? So these guys can spray just like a skunk, except for it's about 5 to 6 times stronger than a skunk spray. So you guys ready for the second part of this threatening behavior? You ready? We're gonna have him stand up. Okay. No, Kelly, face the audience. I don't want this. I don't need that. I got a long day to work, so okay, ready and spray. Okay, we didn't train that part. We didn't train the spray part. You guys, we have been working with Tamanduas. Kelly and I have been working with Tamanduas for almost 20 years. I have never had one spray because luckily they're very comfortable working with us. We want to make sure they feel safe when they're out here. But I have had one fart, and it is pretty bad. These guys really are little stinkers. They smell pretty bad. It's definitely a smell that you gotta wash off, and if you have roommates, it's not gonna go well. So, wow, look at that balance. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. All right, now Mr. Mani was born right here at the zoo, and he got the name Mani, which translates into being little peanut, because when we first saw him in an ultrasound, he was about the size of a peanut. And so that's how he got his name. He has been here since then, and he is part of our SSP program. Has anybody heard of this program yet today? As you've traveled around the zoo, our species survival plan. So he has a lovely lady that lives here in Basecamp. They do not live together because they're solitary species. They only want to hang out with each other if it's that special time of the year. And we have found that when we put these two together, they kind of just roll around and wrestle a little bit. They are both a little young for it, so we're waiting till they're a little bit more mature, and hopefully you'll get to see some baby tamanduas around here at some point in the near future. So Kelly is doing some training also with Mani, and I want to take a minute to talk about his training, and we can talk about that tongue too, as you can see. Do you see that? You guys over there in the front, you're getting a nice view of that tongue, right? So 11 to 12 inches long, really, really sticky. So he does not, I mentioned he has a prehensile tail, right? He does not have a prehensile tongue. It's just really, really sticky saliva is what it is. But we do have animals at the zoo with prehensile tongues. Does anybody know what it is? Anybody? Prehensile tongue? Do you need a hint? Is the tallest animal at the zoo. Giraffe or?
Okapi.
Or the okapi. I would have taken okapi. All right, so there he is. For you guys to get to see that long, sticky tongue, and Kelly's giving a nice stretch to show it off for you too. All right, now, what was I going to talk about before I got training. Before I got distracted with what he was doing. Sometimes I get distracted with what the animals are doing because they're so cute sometimes. All right, so Kelly is doing some training. Do you guys hear that click that Kelly's doing every once in a while? Did you hear it? So Kelly, oh, thank you. Oh no, I don't want any worms. All right, so we use positive reinforcement or operant conditioning with our animals. And so when Kelly asks Mani to do something, and when he does it, that click follows that saying, hey, you did what I asked and your reward is on the way. And for him, a reward happens to be worms. For me, it's chocolate or coffee. I'll be here all day. Whatever it is you want to deliver to me, I will take it. But also, I just wanted to point out that operant conditioning, positive reinforcement works, you guys. How many of you have dogs or cats at home? Anybody? If your dog does, I don't want to say we train our cats because our cats train us, right? That's kind of how that goes. But if you have a dog at home and you ask it to sit, what do you do? Do you give it a treat? Do you give it a pet? Do you tell them they're good? Those are all positive reinforcers. How many of you have kids at home?
I am one.
Do we positively reinforce them? Right? If they do something we like, you do potty training, they get good grades, all that kind of stuff. Right? We use positive reinforcement at home. We just don't usually call it that. Now, how many of you have grown-ups at home? Ooh, okay. Did you guys know you can train your grown-ups? Does anybody want to know how to train your grown-ups?
Yes.
Yes? Would you like to know the secrets of training grown-ups?
Yes.
All right, grown-ups, plug your ears. You can't listen to this. This is not for you. Okay. Guys, okay. If your grown-ups do something that you really, really like and you want them to do it again, right? You have to reinforce that behavior. And you know what grown-ups really like? True. But also, true. How about things? cats. Yeah, of course. You guys are speaking my language right now. All right, we're getting off topic. How about a thank you or a hug, right? Grown-ups like that. That is a good reinforcer for them. So if you like that your grown-up brought you to the zoo today, make sure you say thank you. That's a positive reinforcement, you guys. All right, now Monty's doing super great. He's out here munching on his lunch for a little bit, so that gives me some time to answer any questions that anybody might have. Who has a question about our Tamandua? Monty, over here, yes. I had no idea that skunk spray was flammable. I would not like to find out. I'm not finding out. That's a good question. I'm not looking into it. Yeah. What's your question? Why? I can't. Everybody farts. I can't make him fart. What is he eating right now? Ooh, good observation. Because it's not a worm, huh? So this is a pellet.
Meatballs.
It's not meatballs. This is a pellet that was designed by a company that makes food for our animals. So it has, it kind of mimics what an insectivore diet would be like. So it's high in protein is what it is, but it's made specifically for animals that eat bugs. All right, other questions? Orange shirt, go for it.
Why does he have a long tongue?
Why does he have a?
And the bird is the cleanup crew.
Have you ever seen like an ant farm before? Yeah, and how there's trails that go down into the ground.
Sorry.
So that tongue has to stretch deep down into the ground, or those ant hills or termite mounds, because he can't get all the way in there. So that tongue has to go get all the food. Now he can't open his mouth bigger than my pinky, so he can't bite, but that tongue is very long. By the way, do you guys, when I mentioned that he has like an 11 to 12 inch long tongue, are you guys all picturing like one of those like silly street, like one of those like toys where it unrolls and sticks out? So his tongue is actually connected down by his sternum. So it's connected down there, and it's a muscle, so it stretches, right?
That's the cleanup crew.
So that's how his tongue is.
It literally cleans
It's a little
up,
different than ours.
and he
In
dropped
the back,
worms.
what's your question?
See that? It's picking up multiple worms. Maybe bring back the babies.
How many hours does he sleep? Well, technically he is a nocturnal animal, so he
Okay, back
usually
to the main-
sleeps during the day.
main guy.
But Mr. Monty likes bugs a lot, so he'll wake up for some worms throughout the day. Personally, if you came and woke me up with an ice cream sundae, I'd probably get out of bed as well. So he gets up for a presentation, but I bet he's going to go right back to bed after he has a full tummy and tuck himself in for a little bit. But I haven't counted the hours. It's probably more sleep than I get, is what I would guess. He definitely likes his sleep. Do we have a question over here? Anybody over here? Yes, what's your question?
Is Kelly available for high fives after?
Is Kelly, yeah. Only if you want to stick and hang out with Kelly for the rest of the day. You guys, no joke, that saliva is so sticky. Like, that's why I volunteered to be on the mic and not feeding the animal. All right, one other question. You had a question, go for it.
Does the balls go on the side?
Ooh, that's another observation. I love this. I love when you guys are using like your observations and asking questions about it. So he wants to make sure that those nails stay really sharp. So he walks on the sides of his feet, right? Is that what you were noticing? So he walks on the sides of his feet so those nails stay really sharp, so he can use them to get into those termite mounds and things like that. All right, you guys. Any other? Did you have a question, or are you waving? Okay, go for it. What's his favorite bug? Well, I think it is called the wax worm is his favorite. So, okay, one more question. You've been very patient. Go for it. What's your question? Did you forget?
And there he goes back into his carrier.
It sure is.
Well,
Well, if it can't go all the way in, then I guess his tongue's sticking out. Same with you, right? If you don't put your tongue back in your mouth, what happens? It stays out. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to head off. Thank you for joining us today.
San Diego
Thank you for
Zoo.
being allies for wildlife.